Hello, and thank you for joining us to watch the presentation of our BYU Capstone project. Our team consists of Ashley, Sam, and Megan, and we are presenting on our project, Sidekick. So let's get started. The problem we would like to address today revolves around two key ideas. First is the fact that, nowadays, children are entering the world of technology at younger and younger ages. For example, in a 2020 survey, more than one-third of parents with a child under the age of 12 indicated that their child had begun interacting with a smartphone before the age of 5. Because of this increasingly early introduction to technology, more and more children are therefore unprepared to face a number of the inherent dangers that exist in the world of technology, including online predators, fake news, heightened social comparison via social media platforms, and more. Second, alongside this wave of technology, there is another tidal wave sweeping the youth of this day and age: mental health concerns. For example, according to 2018 data, serious suicidal thoughts were most prevalent among young adults, with suicide ranking in as the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 34. Protecting and teaching our youth to understand and deal with their own emotions and feelings is simply a matter we cannot ignore. So the question is, what are the current solutions? We've broken the solutions into two different spectrums: self-governance and third-party interventions. Self-governance would be the concept of a young adult learning through personal experiences how to navigate, combat, and manage any issues related to mental health or technology. These actions would be performed alone and without any guidance or help. Third-party interventions, however, include access and help from an additional party. We've broken up this concept again into two categories: intentionally sought out help and forced upon. When a third party is sought out, a young adult is actively reaching out for help and assistance, maybe through a parent, mentor, therapist, or friend. When a third party is forced upon a child, the young adult is receiving help without or before they've asked for it. Some examples might include certain overbearing parenting styles, like helicopter parenting, or parent-installed monitoring tools. An example of an existing parent-installed monitoring tool is an application called Bark. So how it works: the Bark application uses natural language processing and machine learning to analyze a child's phone, primarily textual content, for any patterns that might indicate depression, anxiety, bullying, suicidal ideation, self-harm, violence, or sexual content. Indicative patterns that trigger a flag in any of these categories are then screenshot and sent back to a parent, at which point the parent can decide what to do. Now, with all of these current solutions posed, we'd like to present the case for our proposed solution. So as we've mentioned, there are essentially three ways in which a young adult might navigate through the complexities of online dangers and mental health concerns: on their own or with help, and that help can either be asked for or not. Our proposition is to take the same analytical structure of some of the existing monitoring tools, like Bark, but then to adjust the content delivery. Apps like Bark can work amazingly well, but they suffer heavily from negative feedback, both from youth and parents. For example, if a child were to express confused feelings about their sexuality to a close friend, this information would be sent directly to a parent, robbing the child of the opportunity to express these feelings themselves. As such, the feeling of invasion fostered by this reporting system can easily negate incredible opportunities to protect a child's personal well-being. This is why, for our solution, instead of delivering information and insights to parents, we want to deliver these insights back to the children themselves. Additionally, these insights would also be coupled with potential next step options, empowering a child not only to understand and recognize the reality of what they are feeling, but also arming them with the tools that they need to take corrective action, which primarily will include reaching out to trusted adults and advisors. Essentially, our idea is to bridge the gap between self-governance and sought-out third-party interventions, allowing children their own freedom, agency, and privacy, while still offering, encouraging, and arming these young adults with the tools they need to seek out the help that they need. As for some potential impacts, we believe that such an app could greatly reduce mental health stigmas. Currently, 40% of people who experience anxiety or depression fail to seek help because of societal stigmas. This is why we believe that such an app, through the emotional validation and awareness it would provide, could help reduce these mental health stigmas, thereby opening up the opportunity for more people to seek out help. We also feel that an application like this would help increase personal awareness. In one instance, the app might help generate awareness if a child suffers from issues they do not recognize. For example, maybe a child might not realize they are having unrealistic attitudes and feelings regarding their body image. As well, in the likely more frequent case, when the app's insights are unsurprising to a child, these insights could still provide the youth with a sense of empowerment and validation, helping them know that their feelings are real and giving them words or potentially a name to describe their feelings with, along with possible next steps for their situation. Finally, we would hope that this app could promote self-efficacy. By trusting adolescents with these insights, we hope they will find themselves more confident in their ability to do something about it, including reaching out for help. We want adolescent-age children to feel confident in their ability to solve their own problems and to understand that sometimes solving your own problem means reaching out for help. Sam will now explain a bit about our current prototype design.
Now we will take a look at the approach and design of our project. Here are the 5 key core components that we identified for our project. They are resources, goal tracking, personalize, self-awareness, and insights. The first is resources. This core component provides resources for personal improvement and suggestions for where to get further help. Here on the right, we can see the design. The app provides numerous resources to help with overall mental health, anxiety, depression, cyberbullying, and body dysmorphia. Next is insights. These insights provide real, private insights to possible mental health or safety concerns and personal habits via screen and phone analysis. The design here on the right that we implemented allows the app to connect to your Instagram and analyzes your captions to check for signs of depression. Based off the analysis, you are delivered an insight that is tailored to you. The next core component is goal tracking. Goal tracking allows users to create and track goals in order to motivate them to improve their mental health. Our design here on the right shows that there is a Goals tab in the menu bar where a user can create and track important goals. Next is being able to personalize. This core component allows users to personalize the app so that it is catered to them and fulfills their mental health needs. The design shown here on the right shows the Settings tab, where the user would be able to choose which topics they would like the app to monitor for and deliver insights about. Last is self-awareness. We want to encourage users to have mental health self-awareness and desire to improve their mental health. Through the design that we've created in the app, we hope that through Sidekick, adolescent-aged children will feel empowered, more self-aware, and armed with tools and encouragement needed to take charge of their own mental health, including reaching out to others for help. Now, we will take a look at a demonstration of the app. Here is the login page for the Sidekick app. Here, a user is able to reset their password if they forgot it, or new users are able to sign up if they have not yet registered. Now we will log in with the user jdoe@test.com. Moving from left to right, we will first start on the resources page. Here are some resources that we found to be helpful on these different subjects and areas. Clicking on them, a user will be able to see a summary and better know if it will be useful to them and their challenges. Next, we have our Insights page. Here, a user will be able to connect to their Instagram that will allow us to analyze the captions. Once we've logged in through Instagram, we're able to give it approval for Sidekick to communicate and gather data from our Instagram account. Now we're able to pull our Instagram captions. When we do, we can see 9 captions have been added, and now we can run the analysis. Success. We can now click back to check out our insights. Here is our insight for today. When we click in, we're able to see a deeper insight, as well as other things for what now, next steps that we can take. Over time, as we have more posts and captions on Instagram, we're able to refresh our data, reconnect to Instagram, pull new captions, and rerun our analysis for a new insight. Next is the Goals tab. Here, we're able to enter a goal and commit to that goal. Having this goal will help remind us of what we are trying to achieve. Once we've achieved it or we no longer want to seek it, we're able to delete it as well. Last is our Settings tab. Here we're able to view our profile, edit our name, and be able to see the email account that is associated with this account. We're able to log out, and we're able to adjust our insight topics based off of what we want to track and what we want the model to analyze. Lastly, we have some immediate resources within the app. We're able to have links directly to the National Suicide Hotline, the Crisis Text Line, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and also allow users to be able to call the National Suicide Hotline directly from the app.
We will now talk about the methods. First, we're going to discuss 3 ways that we evaluated our core components. First, we reached out to mental health professionals, we conducted outside research, and we sent out 2 surveys to the same population throughout the semester. First, we'll go over our outside research and what we learned from mental health professionals. Our app currently delivers insights specific to depression. We utilized Beck's Depression Inventory questionnaire to train the app's depression detection machine learning model. This research helped to design our core component of insights. Next, our team completed QPR training for suicide prevention. This training taught us how to recognize suicide warning signs and how to intervene and save lives. This training helped us to understand how to deliver sensitive insights back to our users. And finally, from talking with mental health professionals, we learned that insights need to be different based on the age of the user. And we also learned how to deliver an insight to better encourage a user to reach out to someone for help. Eventually, we'd like the app to be available for people of all ages, but for the context of this project, we focused on users aged 14 to 18. The persona displayed on the screen represents some of the characteristics of our survey population. Moving into our survey overview, we surveyed about 100 people ages 14 through 18 2 times over the course of the semester. This population fit our user demographic for the Sidekick app, people who are entering into the world of technology and social media. Some of our survey topics include, would they actually want to use the app? What would incentivize them to continue using the app? And what would they change about the app? Finally, based on survey feedback, we evaluated the core components that Sam showed in his demo: resources, goal tracking, self-awareness, and personalize. Next, we will move into the analysis of our survey results. Here are the results from the first iteration of our survey. One of the questions we asked is, what is your initial reaction to the concept? 75% of people had an extremely positive or somewhat positive reaction to our concept, and that is a great result. The next question we asked is, if you have a smartphone, how likely would you be to download and use the Sidekick app? Well, only 23% of people said they were extremely likely or somewhat likely to use the app. The results below show how we can increase this number. The chart below displays the top 3 features that survey respondents indicated would strongly encourage their use of the app. They are goal tracking, scholarship rewards, and related resources. Like Sam showed in his demo, we implemented goal tracking and related resources, and scholarship rewards is a goal for the future. Next, we'll go over some of the qualitative feedback we received from our first iteration. First, there's always room for improvement. We realized that some of the phrases we were using to describe our app concept to the survey respondents was misleading. For example, the phrases virtual friend and self-sufficient made the survey takers feel like Sidekick would be a replacement for real people in your lives or a replacement for getting professional help. And obviously, this is not the intention of our Sidekick app. Our app will encourage you to reach out to other people and seek professional help if you need it. So we decided to stop using these misleading phrases and instead use the term self-awareness. Next, we received a lot of positive feedback. People liked that the app would help people who feel shy or lonely, that it would help people who couldn't afford to go to therapy, that it would help those who might be scared to ask for help, and that Sidekick can be a source of encouragement for people who really need it. Next, we'll go over the results from our second iteration of the survey. We asked them how their reaction to the app concept changed in comparison to the first time they took the survey. 72% of people said they liked the concept a great deal more or somewhat more than the first time. This is a great response because it shows that we improved our app based on the feedback from the first round of surveys. Another question we asked is, if you have a smartphone, how likely would you be to download and use the Sidekick app? This time, 31% of people said that they were somewhat likely or extremely likely, which is an 8% increase compared to the previous survey. Next, we asked if they thought the Sidekick app is a better solution than the Bark app. 72% of people agreed with this statement, which validated our concept for Sidekick and that it is a better solution than current alternatives like the Bark app. Finally, of the 59% of individuals who indicated they wouldn't download the app, only 33% of them said it was because they don't have a need for Sidekick now, but they could see themselves downloading it in the future. This result shows us that the users like the app concept, they just might not need it right now. Finally, we'll go over some qualitative feedback. People wrote that they like that Sidekick promotes people to get help, that it invests into the empowerment of users, that it promotes self-awareness and personal safety, and that Sidekick does not replace human interaction.
Lastly, we'd like to address some of our key takeaways from this project. The following are some of the current key limitations within the product design. First, the functionality, usefulness, and viability of this entire idea hinge on the fact that insights can be accurately generated. Not only that, but high recall and even higher precision is critical for a situation like this. Though other apps currently claim the possibility of such analysis, until a tried and true solution can be implemented, this will remain a key limitation. Secondly, on a similar vein, it will be necessary that the insights themselves are delivered with the utmost care and precision. The language used must be precise and must clearly avoid the possibility of any self-fulfilling prophecies. Incorrect or poorly phrased insights certainly could cause instances of regression rather than progression, creating problems instead of solving them. As such, to reiterate, it will be critical that insights are planned with the utmost precision and care. Finally, it will be essential to consider the legalities of such an app. For example, implementing a suicidal ideation analysis into the app is one of the ideas that resonates most strongly with us. In fact, the idea for this app came from the preliminary research we did concerning suicide prevention for young adults. However, we would need to do a very deep legal dive to determine our legal liabilities and obligations in this sphere. This all being said, we are still quite confident in the feasibility and potential of such an app. As such, some of our next steps include the following. Topic expansion. This would include expanding the topic pool to include a variety of mental health or online safety concerns. More importantly, however, this will also include the task of creating legitimized analyses of these topics with extensive accuracy testing. Data collection. With data collection, we hope that a final iteration of such an app would not require the user to sign into the accounts they'd like monitored, nor would they need to actively pull down new insights. To achieve this, adjusted methods of data collection will need to be considered and implemented. Incentive program. Here, we would want to develop a first-round incentive program based on the feedback from the respondents. From there, we would begin user testing to ascertain the effectiveness of the different programs. Resources. Finally, we would want to investigate the feasibility and steps required in order to include actual resource content within the application for user access. In summation, the time we spent on this project has been extremely rewarding. We feel confident that, through appropriate branding, design, and functionality, the youth of today could and would make use of an application of this nature. Truly, we feel this idea has the potential to save lives. After all, couldn't we all use a sidekick?